happens over time. And for what we've been told, we have been living in this world of like, go big or go home. And that if we don't make, giant leaps and bounds in moments, we pretty much suck. And I'm here to give you the complete opposite. I'm about go small and keep going. Right, that's where I live, and that's where I want to live. And before we get started, I'm Kim Barnes Jefferson, and I help women over 40 to create simple, sustainable solutions for living a healthy life by going through my reps formula. So, right now we're in a world of uncertainty, and for me and my clients, I've just been instructing them like, we can only focus on what we have right in front of our face, like what we know for to be certain. And one of the things that has kept me going is my habits, right? I can always rely on my habits. I can always rely on my routines, because when the world kind of gets, blown up underneath you, those are the things that I can go to. And it's like, I create sustainable habits that no matter what's happening, I know I can do. I know I can count on, and that's what gives me the certainty that I need in uncertain times, right? So first off, the best thing I always tell people is that when I create a small habit, it's easier to sustain. It's easier to do. It's easier to get started. So the best way I can do is to give you an example. So a few years ago, I was crazy overtraining at the gym multiple hours, and I just burnt myself right out. And so what I did instead was I was like, all right, I can't continue on this pace. So what I did instead was I wrote a list, and I said, what do I want to do right now? What do I want to do? And I just wrote it all down. And then I went through and I said, what feels good right now to me? What feels good? And I highlighted all the things that felt good. And when I did that, I just took the pressure off me. I gave myself permission to just be. I gave myself permission to just live in the flow. I gave myself permission to just not live by anyone else's rules, but to create my own rules that were sustainable for me. And so the example was, I was working out too much, so I was done. I burnt myself out. And so what I did is I said, you know what? I like moving, but I don't need to move 2 hours. So I gave myself permission to move my body 30 minutes. That felt good. Like it felt sustainable for me. Maybe for you, it's 15 minutes, whatever it is. But you notice how to use the word move. I didn't put parameters around what it was going to be. And, at that time, some days I just did 30 minutes of yoga. Sometimes I just went for a walk. Sometimes I lifted, but it was like I gave myself permission to let those 30 minutes be whatever my body felt like in that moment. It also, when I wrote that list and I said, I want to start working on things that feel good, it took the mental headache off of me. That, am I doing this right? Should I be doing, the woulda, coulda, shouldas just flew right out of my brain. And so I didn't have the decision fatigue. It was like, this is what's happening. What's happening is I'm working on what feels really good to me right now in this moment. And I got some wins, right? As soon as I was able to say, I moved my body 30 minutes, I checked the box, I'm a winner. Because when I made it all complicated, that I had to go to, a spin class for 30 minutes, then I had to go and lift for 2 hours, and I did that. I couldn't ever get a win. And when I couldn't do all those pieces, I felt like a loser, like something was wrong with me. And if you feel like that, I need to know, because I'm here to give you permission that it is possible to create what I call the reps, a realistic plan that you're excited about, that you can make a plan around anything that's going on in your life, and in the long term, it's sustainable. So if that sounds like something you want to know more about, leave me a comment below.